Hello. I thought I'd skip the titles this time. How are you all doing? Good to see you and see you all in the chat as well. Hi, Michael. Oh, look at that. My my comments are actually in the right place, more or less, for a change. I normally click on these and then realise, oh, I've not set these up properly. For anyone just joining who doesn't know who I am, my name's Alec. That's all you need to know. No background, no nothing else. Hi, Michael. Good to see you here. Hi, Mateus. And Paul, I know, well, to be honest with you, so obviously I've gone from 100 videos to 365 in a year, which just seemed logical to me, to be honest. 100 was a pretty arbitrary number because Doc had said that you don't need to consider your stats until you reach 100 videos. So that was kind of the motivator for that one. And then I just thought, well, it seems rude not to just do it for a year instead now. But it is a little bit daunting, I've got to say, because it is essentially like another 2.5 times more than I've just done ahead of me. So, but there you go. It's a challenge, isn't it? And it's not the end of the world if something happens and I don't quite make it, but I'll do my best. 106. I know, what kind of number's that? Let's scrap this. I'll be back in 4 days. That seems like a better number, doesn't it? Hi, Greg. Yeah, so it is just a continuation, really, and I am going to evolve these live streams a little bit as we go forward, actually because of your suggestion, Greg, on last week's live stream of sort of combining it with more of a podcast sort of element to it, so that I will just record that, but I've just still not figured out exactly the best way to structure that. So for the moment, you're stuck with the same old format, which is basically just me rambling on and giving a little bit of an update at the beginning. So let's do that straight away, shall we? Whoops-a-daisy. Look at that. Having just said about I got all my overlays right, and then I do that. Oh, that's terrible. And now they are linked as well. I promise you this was right literally 10 minutes ago, so I'm not quite sure how this has happened. Right, but I'll unlink these overlays. There we go. Oh, no, they're all out of alignment. There we go. That's the recovering perfectionist in me. Speaking of which, let me stick this up. My little recovering perfectionist logo. The road to recovery is a long one. So we are on now. Oh, this looks like a long time ahead of me now. Day 365. Oh, sorry. No, we're not. We're at day 106 of 365. And there we go. 330 subscribers. 1,600 watch hours and 16,000 views. That's all we need to say at this time. There's nothing more to look into in that. Except, actually, I suppose there is one thing. There is a beta that fixes some of those things. Well, I'm using the beta at the moment. So it's the issue there that I had was these are linked because I'm using the beta and those are linked. So then when I tried to move one of them because the sizing was wrong, it moved the other one. So I do love this beta though. It is absolutely amazing. And it's given me a lot of the things that I wanted and a load of things that I didn't even know that I wanted, but now I couldn't live without. So yeah. So yeah, about the stats, one thing that I notice is just slowly the actual rate of increase of subscribers is also picking up a little bit. So if I was basically on 300 subscribers after 100 days. So now 7 days later, I'm up to 330. So instead of averaging sort of 3 a day, then obviously 30 in 7 days is more than that. So I'll take that with a little pinch of salt though, really. I'm not paying too much. It does indeed serve my perfectionist tendencies well. So yeah, those are the stats so far. And speaking of stats, yesterday I was lucky enough to catch Heather and Tom Buck, Heather Ramirez and Tom Buck on their stream. Normally I miss that one because I'm sure a lot of you... Yeah, I know you all know who are in the chat that I tend to get up at about 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I've got my sort of hour of meditation and journaling, and then I start my sort of YouTube stuff normally at 4 o'clock, which incidentally is why I've pushed this live stream forward. It always used to be at my 4 a.m. and now it's 5 a.m. here. So I pushed it forward a little bit just so that I've got a bit more of a buffer to sort of get myself all ready and set up. But anyway, yesterday I caught Heather and Tom on their stream at 3 o'clock. I just got up a little bit earlier and then noticed that they were going live. So I thought, right, I'll watch that. Whereas normally I miss it. And they were talking about Tom was having a... That's right, it is. There's a thing called tie time. But anyway, that's another story. So yeah, caught Heather and Tom going live, and they were basically talking about Tom had a conversation with Heather, and she sort of I think recommended that that's what they should talk about on their, what's it called, the Couples Table podcast that they do. And it was all about how Tom had noticed that his stats on YouTube had been going down consistently for the past 5 months. And it was a bit of a sort of, he's not sure why. And, is it something he's doing and stuff like that. And by the way, his videos are like a masterclass in how to make videos. His thumbnails are the best thumbnails I've ever seen. And he's just getting better and better and better all the time because it's, he's just obviously working on his craft and is just getting better at it. So he's not doing anything different. He's still serving the same people. He's still making the same great content. Every week there's new stuff coming out that's all just top notch. I mean, he was one of the people when I was looking to start this channel up. He was one of the people that I was, so it was a case of like, oh, well, what's happening with his stats? And there was no answer to it. It was just a case of him sort of venting it a little bit, and everybody was more than supportive of all of that. And wondering why it is, and I don't really know, to be honest, because it could be that is it because the world's opening up slightly, and so there are more people are going out instead of watching YouTube? Is that driving figures down in the opposite way, that people aren't maybe watching so much on YouTube? I've got no idea here, and my figures are obviously far too low for me to have any real sort of insight into it, because I'm just starting and they're just sort of creeping up slowly but surely for me. But I think it could be something to do with that, the world opening up maybe. But the other thing about it though was, and the reason why I sort of mention it here, is because every time I mention my stats, I always say I'm really interested in them in terms of what happens if you just post consistently. That's, after all, part of the reason to have this channel, is to just find out what happens if you do just post consistently and how you can grow a channel. But I'm not bothered about them, so I don't sweat over them. I'm not constantly checking them. I check these numbers basically once a week, just before I do the live stream, and then when I'm going into the app, I obviously see what my subscribers are doing, but I don't look at views and things like that particularly during the week. But it does just make you realize that essentially you're at the mercy of the platform to some extent. Now, it could be that YouTube have maybe changed their algorithm. Back in the early sort of web days, we were constantly chasing Google in terms of what they were doing. That if they changed their search algorithm for the web, it would be, it was partly because people were making websites and things like that to try to leverage the algorithm to, try and do the things that they knew would help them to get to the top. Whereas now I think it's a lot more, I think that it is a lot more, they're a lot better at actually just genuinely looking at the content and realizing what is good content. So the actual Google algorithm, I think, is a lot more accurate these days, rather than people just sort of gaming the system, although obviously that still can go on. But with YouTube, it's a case of, well, have they changed something that now, somebody's videos aren't getting served as much as they once were? I don't know. And it does sort of make you think about, being beholden to one single platform. I mean, I'm streaming this to Facebook. I mean, Facebook's even worse in my mind. But I also stream it to Twitch. I've not done anything really on Twitch except I stream these weekly live streams. I've not really looked at that much. But having something where you're actually owning the content yourself and not just beholden to one platform, basically, is definitely a way to go. And so I joined their community yesterday. So Tom and Heather have started, I think it was about just less than a month ago, in fact. 1 second, where's it gone? Here we go. The Just Create More community. And I've even got my own affiliate link already, having been in it for a day. So go to takeonetech.io/create so that they know I sent you. But it's basically a community of like-minded people, a bit like Doc Rock's office hours, where we meet every week. So I should probably mention that one as well. buymeacoffee.com/DocRock if you want to join his group. And there we meet every week for a Zoom call, for like a 3-hour Zoom call, and part of the Facebook group and everything. But the thing that's interesting about the Just Create More community is it is on the Mighty Networks platform, and Mighty Networks allows you to create your own little community. So instead of having it in Facebook or everything like that, you're still obviously on somebody else's platform, but it means it's a complete little self-contained ecosystem, really. And I've only been in it for just less than a day, about a day. In fact, it was about this time yesterday that I signed up. But it's really, great little community, and they've got different topics for discussion, things like this. And it's really interesting to see how that sort of develops, really. Taking stuff out from just one platform. Because the other thing about, just coming back to Tom's thing, is that he's obviously started out down the model of a sort of, I suppose, I don't know, would you call it like a traditional YouTube model, where there is obviously ad revenue coming in, and then there's also revenue from, different things related to it, some affiliate links and things like that. Whereas Heather's kind of like the polar opposite of that, in a way that she's like, not worried about numbers and so on, and more just into obviously the passion economy, where you just need to do something that you love, and you have, if you have 1,000 true fans who are paying $10 a month, then you're over $100,000 a year from that thing. And so you only need 1,000 rather than thinking you need millions of subscribers and things like that. So that was that's sort of the difference in approach of the two of them. And so, Heather's obviously not sweating the numbers at all, because she knows what she's building. So if you've got your own little community, like as they've done with Just Create, then really it is platform, independent. And at the end of the day, if they said, oh, well, we're going to move from, instead of posting our videos to YouTube or our live streams to YouTube, going to do them somewhere else, then you've got that covered. And obviously, since Greg's here, it would be rude not to mention Zealous app, where you can obviously monetize through that, and then you're not sort of just on one specific platform as well. I still haven't had time to dig into that. I did start. You might have noticed. I don't know if you check these things, but I did go into my Zealous account and start setting up a few little things, but I didn't get very far. I just was too busy again this week. I promise I will get to it though. Matthias, Tom was really frustrated. He was really frustrated. I really felt for the guy, to be honest, because it's very easy for me to sit here as somebody who's doing this as basically a little side project, that I'm doing as an experiment, really, and I'm not, I've not quit all the other things that I'm doing to do this as a revenue earner. But, obviously Tom took the very brave leap of leaving his job to go and do it. Now, I know they've got other things that they're working on and stuff like that. So he was very clear about the fact that it wasn't intended to be like a pity party or poor me sort of thing or anything like that. But it was just a really good, honest, frank discussion, I think, from his part. And I really appreciated it. But he was frustrated, and it's a shame when you see people that they're questioning themselves, when what he's doing is just getting better and better and better, and his content, there's nothing that I can't say there's nothing that could be done, but it's he's just a master at it, isn't he? So it's a shame when people start questioning themselves about it. Thanks for I pushed it to 5 a.m. because I was getting up a little bit late, and actually I've got a call now, a Zoom call every Friday night. So it's Saturday morning here, every Friday night, which starts at 8:30 my bedtime, 8:30 in the evening until 9:30. So I'm actually starting. It's a good job I'd scheduled this a bit later, because I'm going to be going to bed a little bit later every Friday night for the next 10 weeks. So, and speaking of Zoom calls, actually, and speaking of the Just Create More, let me just put this up, because I have got a hard out, as they say, today. Where's it gone? Here we go. I've got a Zoom call starting, there we go, in 38 minutes. So I've got a time limit today. So I've got myself a little timer for 5:55. The Zoom call starts at 6. And that's actually with the Just Create More community, because they have, as well as obviously Tom and Heather's videos, they also have the opportunity for people who are members, if they want to do a specific video on something, then they can run like events or things like that themselves. So today we've got one all about camera basics, and tick, tick, tick. I know. The clock's running. I will drop the link in. Yes. So there's a thing today, which is camera basics with, now I'm going to absolutely massacre this surname. Michael Sladek, I think. And he's one of the members of the community. So, Yeah, see, he's doing a Zoom call basically in 37 minutes. Actually, it's 5 minutes later, but I've given myself 5 minutes to go and grab another coffee. So he's doing one all about camera. So that's the other thing I like about the Just Create More community is that, you can... There's other people doing stuff, and it's all about learning from one another as well. And so people can come and sort of share their experience. And there's lots of different topics in there already. I forget how many members they've got so far. I think it's around about 90, I want to say. I'm not sure. So it's obviously still quite early days, but still lots of activity going on there. So it's really interesting. So I'll let you know, obviously, how that all goes. And I need to drop a link in the chat now. What's the best way of me doing that? I'll do that shortly. I'll drop that in the chat in a moment because I'm not sure if I can get that. Hang on 1 second. I will just do it now. Talk amongst yourselves. No, it won't take me too long. The benefits of being able to copy, because I've got it open on my mobile, but I don't ever have the chat open on the thing at the same time. No, is there a way? Let me just have a little look at this. There is a way, I think. If I go into... Somebody asked me about this the other day, and what it was no, that's the embed URL. Somebody was asking about how you can get the URL for the chat or the embed URL. And in Ecamm Live, if you go to the edit menu while you are live, then there is a copy URL. And there is one way you can get the chat URL, but that is only if you are in YouTube, whereas I'm streaming to Restream. So that might be the problem there. Here we go. I'll put it in. Now, the benefits of being able to copy and paste between devices. He says, no, it's not working, is it? Obviously, it's not working because these things never work when you are wanting to actually do them in an important situation. Here we go. No, it's not working. I'll have to do it shortly. I'll get back to you, Matthias. TakeOneTech.io/create. There we go. That is the link. I'll drop it in, though, and I'll message you with it as well. So what have I got coming up for the week? Well, just the same, really, of just cranking out some videos. As I just realised as well, I made a little error when I put my videos up because I said 105 videos. It's not. This is the 105th video. So that was a bit sneaky. That was. I've just realised I put that up when I was intending to make one yesterday, and I got almost to the end of it, and then something happened, and I couldn't finish. So. I'll have to remake that one today instead. It's actually easier for me to just remake a video than it is to go and finish the last 10 minutes of it or something like that if I got interrupted yesterday. So I shall get that done, and I've got a bit of catching up to do this week, haven't I? I don't want to get behind. I don't want to be always trying to catch up with myself. I liked the fact when I did the first 100 days, in the first couple of weeks, I basically just did, quite a few more. So I think by day 30, I'd done 50 videos, or by day 20, I'd done 30, or something like that. So I'd always got a few in the bag, whereas now I'm just behind. So don't want to be getting behind too much. But I'm also going to start doing some more sort of Mac productivity videos as well. So my obviously I've been quite Stream Deck and Ecamm Live heavy recently, so I am going to introduce a few more about things like Keyboard Maestro was one that I did yesterday, because I'm realizing with having this new Mac Mini and sort of transferring stuff across, I realized just like how many of these things that I've been using on a day-to-day basis are just basically Keyboard Maestro macros, or Hazel, just doing sort of like auto sorting of my documents and folders and things like that, or text expander. So obviously some of this stuff just transfers straight across. But with the Keyboard Maestro and Hazel, I wanted to go through and sort of filter out some of these rules that I'm not using anymore, these macros. Oh, thanks, Matthias. I'm glad you like that. That is going to be the first of many on Keyboard Maestro, because it's just an amazing app. I can't believe that it's like $38, something like that. And it's just such a powerful app. It can do so much. I don't have an affiliate link for Keyboard Maestro at all, actually. No, I don't even know if such a thing exists. I should probably look it up, really, shouldn't I? But no, I don't. It's just amazing. And so filtering out all of these little macros that I had. I mean, I've got some that were for little routines that I was running for. Oh, thanks, Michael. $36. Yeah. So there's little routines that I'd been running with these macros that, I don't even use anymore. They were for old workflows and things like that. But anything where I would go through my sort of day-to-day work and find that there was something that I was doing, more than a few times in any, in a week or in a day or something like that, I'd just make a little keyboard maestro macro for it. And so you build up like hundreds or thousands of these little things that just work in the background or do stuff for you, and it's really amazing. So I figured that although I have been quite Ecamm Live and Stream Deck heavy, I'm going to start to introduce more of the Mac productivity stuff, because I think most of my viewers are people who have been using Ecamm Live. They've sort of come into the channel through that way, but a lot of people I think are quite new to the Mac as well. A percentage of those people. So and then others are just sort of maybe not using these sort of productivity tools. So anything to help people get a bit more productive in their Mac, I think is a good thing. And there's ways that you can use them with things like Ecamm Live. So you'll probably notice that a lot of my little examples are often just related to Ecamm Live, because that's what's at the forefront of my mind when I'm making the videos. The other thing about Keyboard Maestro is, with the little app that, the plugin for Stream Deck, that you can just use the Stream Deck to trigger macros. You don't have to worry about or think necessarily about keyboard shortcuts for everything. For some of the triggers that you want to trigger manually, you can just have a little button that does it. And so there's loads of little macros that I'm making that are just specific for sort of my Stream Deck workflow, if you like. So I think that it works really well with that as well. So I'm definitely going to be making more of those this week. The other one that I'm going to be looking into, Michael, is Stream Elements. That was a question that Michael had asked about a little project basically for a widget. So Stream Elements is for a widget that you is to create widgets that you can use in your live stream. So I've actually remembered to switch it on today. So if anybody does happen to subscribe to my channel in the middle of this live stream, then a little thing will pop up on the screen. I normally forget to turn it on. I don't know why, but I've added it into my group of this little lower third that I've got here. That is now one single group. So before I would, in fact, there's no difference. I'm talking nonsense, because you could do that before with folders anyway. So I'm showing and hiding the folder, and so now I've got all my widgets in there, so they will show up on the live stream. But I'm rambling again. But anyway, the Stream Elements allows you to create those elements to put into your stream. So you could have, like, when people new subscribe or things like that. You could also have things that, like, if you're going to, I know it was Rich Graham in our little group wanted one where when he was playing music over Spotify onto the stream, and it was from an Epidemic playlist in Spotify. So it was a way to get Epidemic sounds, but it was streaming music through a channel, and then he had a widget which basically would put up the name of the track. And oh hi, this is either Anna or Fulgens. I can't activate Fulgens mode today, I'm afraid. I've not got everything set up for that, but great to see you here. So yeah, Rich Graham had done that. I think he'd used Stream Elements, or he might have used something else, so I'll have to have a little play around with that. The other one is Streamlabs. I think with Streamlabs you can create your own overlays as well. Your own. Oh, it is Anna. We were just talking about analytics earlier. The never-ending puns. I'm not as good as the Master Tom Buck though, and we were talking about Tom earlier as well. So yeah, well, I'll do a thing about Stream Elements, and then I'll also have a look at Streamlabs and see what that one's like. Hi, Fulgens. I've not quite got my text overlay game on yet. I'm still doing it the old way. Although I suppose some of these are text overlays, but they're not quite as good as you two, the masters of text overlays. Anybody who hasn't seen Building Blocks, go over to the YouTube channel Building Blocks and check out all the great stuff that Anna and Fulgens do with text overlays. It's quite amazing, actually. I noticed Doc's really gone all in on the text overlays. I was watching his stream yesterday, and he's taken on board all of the lessons. He also mentioned yesterday, by the way, just as a little aside, that about 60% of all of the new features in this beta that we were just talking about were at Anna's request. So we've got you to thank for all of the great new features that we got in the beta as well. Tell them the fly sent you. Yeah. That's the fly that was made a start appearance on a recent episode of Building Blocks, or in the Ecamm Live channel. I can't quite remember. Anyway, I'm digressing again, and the clock is ticking. So this week, yes, I will have a look at Stream Elements and what was the other one? I've forgotten it already. Never mind. I've got it written down. Don't worry. I won't forget it. But by the way, if there are any specific videos, or like with Keyboard Maestro or any of the other stuff that I've done, if there is any specific videos that anybody wants to see, or anything that they can't get done with Keyboard Maestro, then do just let me know. Drop me a message or drop it in the comments or something like that of this video or any others, and I'll be happy to make it. In fact, that one that I did this week on Keyboard Maestro was because somebody had actually asked me specifically about how they can do it was minimizing all windows actually. But hey Sammy, great to see you. Do you know what, I don't know how you have the time to pop up in everybody's stream, especially with Leader. I suppose that's the thing that I should mention as well. Leader, I'm still doing Leader, by the way, and yeah, Sammy is just, he's just always there. Like every video, Sammy's either watching it live or caught it on the replay or something. It's a true commitment to it. So it's yeah, it's really, really great. So yeah, Leader's another thing that I've been doing this week, and I did actually miss 2 days. We had a massive storm here. Do you know what? It seems like since I started live streaming, my internet has been down more than it's ever been since I've been in Thailand for the past 16 years. And we seem to have had more vicious storms as well. So I don't know quite if there's any correlation, but we had a load of trees fall down. And so I was clearing those for 2 days. I'm actually covered in scratches and things like that. Because of trying to fell these trees. Fortunately, they all fell away from the house, so that was a bit of a bonus. But yeah, so I ended up having a few busy days clearing that, and then I just didn't have quite time to do my my Leader tasks. But they were all ones about selling and stuff like that, and upselling. So I didn't mind missing those so much. They weren't quite as soul searching as some of the early ones, and then now we're into the final straight really of Leader. We've got correlation is not causation. That's true. That is very true. So yeah, into the final. It must be the final week. We're on 28th now, so not long to go of Leader. And I've got to say, just again, what an amazing thing that is, and how different it is from what I was expecting. I've mentioned it before, so I won't go on about it. But yeah, I just thought it was going live every day in August. And in fact, it is a whole structured program of self-development in getting people live. And, you know, some people, I never really had a particular problem with actually, you know, getting over the thing of going live. I don't sort of get nervous about it or anything like that. Yeah, I've made enough of a fool of myself in my life to not have to worry about doing it again on a live stream. So I don't have that sort of that barrier at the moment. But I can see that, you know, there's people that have gone from, you know, really being nervous about being in front of the camera and stuff like that, and to having a total transformation. So it's such an amazing it's such an amazing thing, Leader. I highly recommend it for, to be honest with you, even if you're not a live streamer, it's just a great little exercise in sort of self discovery and self-improvement as well. It's great. I think that's what it is, Paul. The ISPs monitor when you're a regular streamer, and they automatically trigger outages on your service, and they also trigger the weather activation systems as well to cause storms and floods. So I had to cancel one live stream because we had a flood, and then yeah, we've had trees go down twice since I've started doing this. Literally trees that have been standing all the time I've been here, and then suddenly they all start falling down around me. So what's going on? I don't know. But yeah, so that's what I have been up to this week, and what I'm up to in the week ahead. And yeah, as for the actual format of this, I'm going to be a little bit more structured, because what I did used to do when I started out, when I started out back in the day, 106 days ago, I sort of planned out my live streams because they were basically going to be video content as well. So where like I focused on one specific thing, like my setup or stuff like that. So I'll probably try and get back to having a little bit more of a focus to it rather than just me wittering on for however long. But I will also incorporate Greg's awesome idea, thank you, Greg, of combining this with my sort of podcast output, which has not been put out for several weeks now, a number of weeks, most of the weeks that I've been doing it, in fact. So I'll have like the first part be more of an update on the progress of the channel and stuff like that as I head towards this silly little goal that I've set myself. And then the second part be maybe like a focus on something. And then obviously anybody's always welcome to join in. So I've not got a huge amount more to say today, to be honest. So if nobody fancies jumping in for a little chat, then I'm probably going to wrap it up because 20 minutes will give me time to make even more coffee. Because I do come down and make my litre of coffee. This is my Espro. I should probably do a little video on this because I use this every day. I used to use those glass French presses, but I was always breaking them. They always were too fragile. And so, but the thing I like about this is it's like double wall insulated and it's metal and it's got a really fine mesh. So, who's this now? It's Greg, of course. I need to get a title for Greg. I need to get a title for when Greg joins in a second. There we go. How you doing, Greg?
I'm good. I didn't want to ruin my streak, and also I want to make you really nervous and get you very close to your time.
yeah. You're gonna do a what's it called in the US? Is it a filibuster where people just
Yeah, that's right. The talking filibuster.
Yeah.
Nice. I like the idea, though. I think it's good to get the podcast.
Well, of course, it was your idea. It was your idea.
No, I think it's just helpful. I've been trying to figure out how to do a podcast out of our stream also, actually, and it's a bunch of work, right?
Yeah.
Like to edit it. I don't know if you use Descript also. Have you tried that yet?
Yeah, so Descript and Jarvis, which was it Conversion AI before? So I've looked at both of those. I just haven't actually started using it. I did use Descript for my 3 episodes of my podcast that I did do to take out the ums and ers, but I've decided I'm not going to bother doing that in future. I don't think people mind as much as we think that they mind. And, as long as I can try and not do them so much. Hello, I'm not sure your name actually. Hello, Business Growth Ready. You should record the weather and floods. Use it as life in this land storytelling with green screen in real life. Yes, I'm just trying to process that. So what? Use it behind me.
He's just saying kind of the like man on the street kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. It was funny actually. That was another thing about Leader is I did the first 2 weeks or whatever on my phone, so I always just did them outside. And it was it was Sammy who said, "Oh, they've let you." Oh no, it was Paul actually. He said, "Oh, it looks like they've let you out of the basement." So yeah, because I'm normally doing these from my basement. So how's your week been, Greg?
It's been busy. Got a new client, so starting that on Monday.
Oh, cool.
And just we're working on website design, for the new product that we're coming out with
right
soon. So just busy, trying to get ready, investor pitch and meetings starting some stuff next week also. So yeah, just, lots of little things. Our show is also a constant, it's always evolving. So we're splitting. We haven't announced this yet, so this is breaking news on your show. Yeah, we're splitting our weekly news show up into, I think, 3 segments now instead. So,
right.
Because we were doing it all on Friday for an hour and rolling up like all of the news from creator economy stuff. But we kept finding there's so much, just such a torrent of news constantly. And we're already spending time discussing it and planning what we want to put into that show. So we're just going to do 15-minute shows Tuesday, Thursday, and then our deep dive on Friday for half an hour. So same physical amount of time,
Yes,
right? An
yeah.
hour, except just spread out over
Got you.
3 days. And I
Yeah.
think just increasing the volume of content we push out is probably
Yes,
better
yeah.
for the growth of the channel.
I'll just say a quick hi to Chris. Hi, Chris.
Oh, of course.
I will do a video all about Descript actually, and yeah, that one and Jarvis.ai, they work quite nicely together.
So I've been using Descript to do my my shorts.
I was going to ask you about that next. Yeah, how are they going?
It's okay. You know, like our channel is obviously very small. We have like 60 subs, right? So it's not.
Yep.
It's more of a labor of love at this point than it is. You know,
yeah.
But what I like about it is I created a template basically in Premiere, and then I used a script to I find just some interesting quote out of the interview we do on Wednesday or whatnot, and it's great because you can export an audiogram from it. So what I do is I just basically get that little audiogram and drop it in the middle. Yeah. And I have some other like movement and stuff behind it and whatnot. And it takes like 5 minutes to do that. And then you just export it. And so at least it lets me then create a pointer back to like a proper live or video that we have on our channel.
Right. And what's the sort of...
Oh, no, I was going to say you can't do it directly in Descript though.
Right.
Because it doesn't do 9 by 16. So it does like a square video. So I tried uploading it directly and it doesn't work out. Like,
yeah. Chris is asking, do you use the free version of Descript or paid, and is it worth it?
I was using the free version, and we just ran out of time. So I went to whatever the creator put, the first plan. I didn't go like all into the pro plan. I haven't figured out yet if we need the pro plan. The creator plan was largely I just need more time because we basically do like 2 hours of programming a week, and so like we're processing that, and then so it's about 8 hours in a month that we kind of need to go through. You can't customize things like in the audiogram that comes out. You can't change some certain things. I think they don't allow you to delete. What? Everyone that
so you can do the ums and ers, but you can also do like a bulk search with the for other filler words, I think, or something with the pro version. But the other thing,
so pro is even a lot more than the one I'm on, I think.
Yeah, I've got the one that you're on as well. I did try the pro one because the other thing about that is the other pro one is you can do that crazy thing where you read a whole, it's like 30 minutes to train your voice.
So you tell it what you want to say and then...
and then you can just type and it says it with your voice. It is absolutely, it's just freaky. It really is. Yeah.
Are you old enough to remember the movie Sneakers from way back?
I can remember the name, but I can't just remember. I don't know if I saw it or not. I'm terrible for movies.
But there's this funny part, like where they're trying to. It's an old school voice password thing. Like this is like the late 80s, 90s or something, right? And they're like trying to get the guy to say these words, and they're recording them and then taping it like a tape together physically.
Right.
To do it. Amazing to see like software doing it now. Yeah, the overdub. I think is what it's called.
Yes.
I don't particularly have a need for that.
No, neither do I. It's just freaky to see it.
But it's super cool. Yes.
Yeah. And then the other one is sort of Jarvis AI, which can actually write your. So we did a thing on that in one of Doc Rock's sessions on one of the Sunday sessions or Saturday sessions, and we were just testing like to see what it can do. And you can do things like if you want to write sort of sales script. So like this is the problem, this is the solution, and who it's for, and all that sort of stuff. And you just write the most basic of information and it just populates it. Like, so we've got Kali who does yoga. She does yoga classes and stuff like that. So she said like, oh, well, what if you were going to write a sort of little thing about my classes for people with lower back pain and yoga? And that's all we put in, lower back pain for yoga. And it came up with these like 3 bullet points. And it was so like accurate, she said, in terms of what it was. Then there was a guy as well that's in this group who said he's a pastor, and he said, "Oh, how about if you do a sermon on John chapter whatever it was." Seriously, and it just like it, and so that's the other thing with the pro version of Jarvis is you can actually, instead of going to these sort of set formulas, you can actually just type it. So Doc literally wrote, give me a sermon on John chapter whatever it was.
Wow.
And then it just comes out and it starts pumping it out. And then you just press for more, like once you've checked the first bit, and it just keeps on churning it out. And he was just like, oh, I can't believe it. This is my Saturday sorted now for my Sunday service.
Is it, did you find it intelligent? I get like, so,
yeah,
you know, like so like if you're like, say, a thought leader in your space,
yeah,
do you think it could generate like that kind of
yeah.
insight that you might have though? Or
I think that it can. And the other thing is, you can say like the tone of it as well. So you could say, I want to be like easygoing, or I want to be like authoritative, or whatever. Right. Or you can even say you can even put the name of a well-known personality or character, and it will do it like in. So one we did was. It was not for yoga, it was for something else, but anyway, in Doc Rock's thing, and then in the voice of Samuel L. Jackson, not the voice, but the sort of his tone,
mannerisms or whatever.
Mannerisms, the written, speech mannerisms. So yeah, it's
so if you can feed it a body, like I've written, 250 posts on startups and entrepreneurship. Can I feed it my stuff?
Yeah, you could put in some of your stuff, and then it would generate other stuff. So I was seriously thinking about. Chris says, "Can it do a South African accent?" Paul says he did one this week with the tone of Kevin Hart. I've not seen that film, by the way. My Voice Is My Password. That is obviously the thing that's
from Sneakers. That was like the phrase.
Oh, I see. Right.
He needed to say. And it's hilarious. I love those kinds of movies, actually, just in general, that genre. So like, I find it very interesting.
Well, that is what you say when you want to log into like the HSBC banking app. That's the thing that they for the voice recognition. We say that. But yeah, so no, the Jarvis is really it can produce like really sort of coherent content. So for doing it for not for my blog on this channel, but for another blog that for the social media marketing company, then there's ways that to have that to do it for certain blog posts or things like that, or for basically sales copy as well. It's great for sales copy or proposals and things like that. It's it's scary. So couple that with being able to then read it out in your own voice. We're almost redundant.
Yeah, my friend, he's got a startup called pseudo.write, and it's actually a tool that it helps. So it uses the same thing. I think all these things are using this GPT-3 technology, basically as AI engine basically underneath it. But what his software is designed to do is to help writers get over writer's block. So you actually give a sentence that you're writing, and it suggests pathways.
Got you,
for
right.
you to go down, right? As a sort of
so it's like a coach almost. Yeah.
And now maybe it's just like, that's ridiculous, but then you write something else because you get inspired by something you see. So I think it's kind of like a Grammarly, but like inline suggesting like interesting pathways in your writing. So yeah, pretty interesting. This stuff is crazy right now.
I've been looking at another thing, just having a little play around with it. Do you know Alex Lindsay from it was previously Pixel Core, but now it's 909 Media, is it? He's always on Mac Break Weekly with Leo Laporte, but he's started a thing last year called Office Hours. I know loads of people started Office Hours, but he's actually registered the name now as well. But that was all about video production, but they're using mainly they're using like A10 minis and stuff like that, as opposed to sort of virtual, but what do you call it? Software solutions. But it's all about at a slightly more sort of professional level than certainly me and YouTubers basically. So that's more sort of like high-end live streaming. So Alex Lindsay was the one that did all the live streams from the Google Hangouts from the White House with Barack Obama, and all sort of really sort of high-level live streaming. So he's sort of at that end. But they've been talking about another app which has now just totally slipped my mind, which is basically like, think of a Jarvis or a Descript, but for like faces. So you can create a virtual model, and then you can, and it's basic. Say again.
Deep fake kind of thing,
sort of, yeah, but it runs with Unreal Engine is what a lot of the sort of games are made on these days, well, a subset of them at least, for the 3D graphics. So it's with Epic Games, who make Unreal Engine, and then this thing is called the name's totally slipping me now. That's going to frustrate me, that is. But basically, you can make your own make your own avatars and your own model, but then you can also have it so that, like, as you're speaking, it's just you're controlling it like that, and it's things that So Alex did all of the graphics, or used to work for Industrial Light and Magic, doing some of the animations for Star Wars and things like that. But he was saying that the things that you can do now just on your computer with this software, previously would have taken like weeks of programming and rendering and all that sort of stuff. So having the three of these things all combined together, you could have a fake version of yourself reading a fake script that had been auto-generated for you in your own voice that wasn't actually you speaking. We're so close to something quite scary, I think.
It's a very scary time. And then, I think like just being able to discern when you have an actual human on, we have this problem already with disinformation and misinformation everywhere.
Yeah.
Like this tiny little potentially good use case is like surrounded by an ocean of bad use cases.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just even with all the stuff with like COVID, all the sort of misinformation that's been out about that. And you see it on Facebook that, somebody will post a snippet of something, and then people will jump onto it and start spreading it like it's fact. And I'm not saying I know what is and isn't fact, but you just see how it happens, and then it'll come out that, oh, well, actually, they didn't say that, or that was out of context, or that isn't actually even factually true. Whereas if you've got somebody who is, like a deep fake, basically, where somebody's a quote from them, it's very easy for people to just latch onto it and not even...
Public figures have tons of public media of them out there, right? So getting to it is... And especially people like presidents and stuff, because they kind of always are against the same backdrop, and like same audio, like it's scary. But you are up almost on 5 minutes, but I did want to say hi and hi to everyone else.
I appreciate that. We're nearly out of time.
I'll let you get back to closing up.
Cool.
Good seeing you.
Yeah, you too, mate. Thank you.
Right, bye-bye.
Cool. Well, there we go. 4 minutes 56 until my Zoom call. So I will drop the link in, and I'll send it to you, Matthias, directly as well, for the Just Create More community. It's really good. And so I do have to get off to go to my Zoom call with them, where we're talking about cameras today. So that will be interesting. Great to see you, Chris, as well. I appreciate it's getting very late there in the UK. So thanks for stopping by. And by the way, every week, I always just do put my little link up at the bottom, so that takeonetech.live/join. So anytime you're free, feel free to hop on as well, and that goes for anybody else who's watching as well. Well, that's all for me, and great to see you again, Matthias, as well. And glad you could get up early. It's early for some, late for some others. Great to see you, Chris. Okie dokie, that is literally all from me, and I will catch you later. I still haven't got an outro. I need a proper outro for this thing that I'm doing, don't I? Really? So I'll try and get something together. I have been saying that for 5 weeks, and it's just one of those things that I never quite seem to get to. And I've also seemed to have lost my end screen. Oh no, there it is. Bye from Birmingham. What's your name, by the way? I don't want to keep calling you Business Growth Ready. And you're in Birmingham. So yeah, always good to see a new face. I'm from Stoke-on-Trent, by the way, originally. I live in Thailand now, and I've been here for 16 years, but I'm certainly from your neck of the woods originally. So Newcastle underline. Michael, oh, well, that's good. We've got 2 Michaels. Great to see you, Michael. I'll definitely remember that for next time. Okie dokie, everyone. Thank you very much all for coming and being here. It's been great hanging out with you, and thanks to Greg. I'll try and get your title sequence done for you as well, Greg. Do I know Eddie Hall? I'm not sure I do. Okie dokie, I'll catch you all later. So I'll leave my normal outro screen, and at some point in the future, I'll put some extra videos for those watching on the replay. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.